Okay, so we have then autogenic inhibition. Now we have talked about reciprocal inhibition, right? One muscle short, other muscle long, or vice versa. That's not how this is working. When you turn the GTOs on, this activates autogenic inhibition. Now this is saying what we already know. Length is the primary job, but after a magical amount of time has passed, the tension turns on and overrides that. When your muscles are stretched, then your brain is going to send that signal, contract, contract, but the time passes, tension takes over, and instead of being concerned with length anymore, now the cues are going to be about releasing the tension. All right. So look at the word autogenic. Auto, just like automatic, right? This means self. Genic. Now, like most people are aware of this word. So this is not like, whatever your personal beliefs are. A lot of people are familiar with the book of Genesis in the Bible. And the reason that it's called that is because it is the creation story, right? It is like the starting of this. So this same thing happens here. When we see genic, it means gen means creation of, right? So autogenic inhibition is when your body can do this on its own, right? It does this, it automatically creates this new signal that dissolves and fixes it. But you must create the right conditions to initiate autogenic inhibition. So then the question is, how do we do it? How do we activate this? Say that we're doing regular stretching. Just picture any kind of stretch. That is going to be reciprocal inhibition, where the side that we're stretching out is able to do that because the opposite side has shortened. Okay. Autogenic, this is about time. We have to get into a stretch and hold it. It's like really 30 seconds or more. Sometimes they say 20 to 30, but mostly they say 30 or more. Because that will allow the manager to come in and take over. That allows those GTOs to turn on and send the message about relaxing the tension, right? And then we dissolve the knots and the tight muscle can get full length again. So how do we do it? The most effective way is with self-myofascial release, which a lot of times they're just going to call SMR. This you can do with anything, but the majority of the time it is with the foam roller. So now think of, you're in the gym and what do you see? You see people just rolling up and down on these foam rollers and it might feel good. And I'm not saying it doesn't do anything, but it doesn't do this because the way to activate the GTOs is to apply pressure and hold without moving for a minimum of 30 seconds. So most of that time that people are putting into that is wasted because we need to create that time so that the manager can come in. The manager can't take over unless we allow enough time to pass. So when you're on the foam roller, what you're going to do is like roll and roll. And then when you feel anything, here's the thing, you know it. Like it might not be, it's probably not somewhere that you have pain in your body, but you can feel it when you hit a knot because of the pressure on it. It's going to be sore, tender, right? Like but it's not sore like painful, even though it can be painful to release, but it's not like an injury, right? That you can just tell, oh, wow, I just hit something. That's it. That's it. You stay there then, right? So roll and roll until you hit it. And then we hold until the tension releases. And I mean, I keep saying it, but like, if you haven't done this yet, it is like magic. The first time that this happens, that you can feel that release, it is truly like magic. And then you're like, oh, no way, this didn't just work. So you go again. And now it's not there, right? Because you've dissolved that knot. So this is what we have to do is just hit that knot again and again. And like, so I had to do my calves a lot in the beginning, but I have only foam rolled my calves like 2 or 3 times in the last 15 years because once you get rid of it, it's gone. The only way it's going to come back is if you're doing things to make it come back, right? So like say that I wore heels all the time, then yeah, then it's going to come back, right? Or if you have postural things, I don't like to sit, so I'm not like at a desk all day. If I was like that would create other things, right? So there are reasons why you might have to redo it, or that you could just do it periodically as a tune-up. But once it's gone, it's gone. you probably have a bunch of knots in that area. So you want to just do it every day. You hit a knot, you get rid of it. You don't have to do all 20 in one day, right? That's going to be too much. Let this be a small time commitment where people can chip away at it. And it's going to continually improve until it's gone. And it really is. It's amazing. It's absolutely amazing. So if you don't have a foam roller yet, I think it's one of the best investments that you can make. It is so frustrating that like this piece of foam is going to be $20, but it is worth it to have. Okay. So the most effective way is going to be self-myofascial release. So it's like mostly the foam roller, but you can use other things too. So like if it's in an area that you can't really roll on the ground, or that you can't like get a lot of pressure in, then you're going to be able to use things like a tennis ball. I don't like tennis balls are great because most people have them, but it's too soft. So I like as much pressure as they can bear. And that you're going to get from a yoga ball, a lacrosse ball, like things like that. Okay, now the last thing I want to say before we talk about the static stretching for the test, they say 20 to 30 seconds before the GTOs turn on. If you have to pick between the two, it's always 30. So mostly pick 30, only pick 20 if 30 is not an option. But in the beginning, your body fights this so hard that no matter what this science says, it doesn't go like that. So like I broke my hip when I was a teenager, a sport related injury. And then when I did the foam roll, like I can like right now, like not exactly like PTSD, but like I can remember like in my body, almost feel sick right now thinking about foam rolling that for the first time. So I think also I only stuck it out because it was like, okay, this is gonna be my career. I've got to do this. So anyway, I'm on it, right? Like on my side on the hip. And it was pain that was, I think, on par with when it was broken. However, I knew that it wasn't an injury. So I also knew that until the signal comes for this to relax and release, if I don't stick this out until it releases, it's gonna do nothing, right? You can go 99% of the way. If you don't make it to the release, then you're still going to have the same exact thing that was there. So there is now when we're working with our clients, especially with older adults, there's a push and pull here, right? You don't want them to be so uncomfortable that they're afraid. And also like people just kind of need to ease into it a little bit and learn that they're not getting hurt. You can just feel that stretch reflex, right? That's what it is that's fighting it so hard because it wants to protect you. But anyway, once you get to that point that it releases, oh my gosh, it's incredible. It's such a memorable thing that you won't ever forget it. But then it was like, okay, so it was the next day and I do it again. So the first day it took like 2.5 minutes of like blinding pain. And then the next day was like maybe 2 minutes, right? And then the next day, 1.5 minutes. So eventually it got down to like 30 seconds. And again, I don't need to foam roll that. I haven't done that for over a decade. It's because it's fixed now. The muscles are fixed. But if you think about that, everywhere that somebody has had an injury in their life, and I went to physical therapy after it happened, if this stuff stays there, it's gonna be there forever until we do something to undo it. All right, so you can do it with static stretching too. It's just not as effective, right? There's something about that direct pressure. But say we get into like let me see if I have our picture here. I will show this. I wanted to show this picture. For the static stretching, this is going to be just like a standing calf wall stretch, right? When it's static, you're not moving. So she gets into the stretch just like we normally do, right? You're going to see that she's stretching out this back calf. But if she holds and holds and holds, then eventually, to a lesser degree, but still happening, the GTOs will turn on and we can do some sort of corrective exercise. Now,